Let's get straight to it. Number 10, LibreOffice versus Microsoft Office. Microsoft 365 charges around $70 a year, forever, just to keep using Word and Excel. Stop paying for 1 year, and your own documents start nagging you to resubscribe. LibreOffice costs nothing ever. It's free, open source, and opens and saves .docs and .xlsx files without breaking formatting, which used to be the one excuse people had for sticking with Microsoft. Send someone a .docs file made in LibreOffice, and they'll never know you didn't pay for it. This isn't some obscure hobbyist tool either. The French National Gendarmerie, France's national police force, installed OpenOffice, LibreOffice's predecessor, on over 90,000 government computers, making tens of thousands of paid Office licenses obsolete overnight, and the force has run open-source software ever since. You're not renting a slightly worse version of Office. You're renting the exact same category of software, and just choosing to pay for it anyway out of habit. Number 9, GIMP versus Photoshop. Adobe Photoshop runs about $20 to $35 a month through their Creative Cloud subscription, and you never actually own it. Cancel the payment, and the software locks you out of your own files. GIMP, short for GNU Image Manipulation Program, has been free and open source since 1996. Layers, filters, custom brushes, batch editing, plugin support. It covers the same core toolkit professional photo editors use every day. Because it's open source, thousands of developers have spent decades adding features Adobe would otherwise charge extra for. It's not going to win a pixel-perfect feature comparison against the newest Photoshop AI tools. But let's be honest, most people aren't running pixel-perfect AI workflows. They're cropping a screenshot or cutting themselves out of a group photo. For the 95% of editing most people actually do, GIMP does the job completely free, permanently, with zero subscription clock ticking in the background. Number 8, DaVinci Resolve versus Adobe Premiere. Premiere Pro is another Creative Cloud subscription, another monthly bill stacking on top of Photoshop's. DaVinci Resolve has a completely free version built by Blackmagic Design, and it isn't a stripped-down demo. Its color grading tools are considered so advanced that entire feature films have been graded using Resolve. Professional colorists on major Hollywood productions use the exact same software you can download for $0 tonight. Blackmagic makes their real money selling cinema cameras, so the software is essentially a loss leader, free forever to get people inside their ecosystem. You're getting timeline editing, color correction tools that surpass Premiere's built-in options and audio mixing, all in one program, while Adobe charges a recurring fee for a comparable toolkit that many professional colorists don't even prefer. Number 7, VLC versus paid media players. There isn't even a real argument here. VLC, built by the nonprofit Videolan organization, plays virtually any video or audio format that exists, MKV, AVI, MP4, FLV, you name it, without needing separate paid codec packs or plugin purchases that some other players still try to sell you. It's been downloaded more than 3 billion times since 2001, no ads, no bundled malware, no premium tier hiding basic features behind a paywall. It just works on a decade-old low-quality file, a fresh 4K download, or a broken video other players refuse to open. Paid media player suites still exist and still charge for advanced playback options, most of which VLC has offered free for over 20 years. It's the rare piece of software that got everything right early and simply never needed to change its price from zero. Number 6, Audacity versus paid audio editors. Recording studios used to require expensive dedicated hardware and software just to edit a single track cleanly. Audacity, free and open source since the year 2000, gives podcasters and musicians multi-track recording, noise reduction, pitch correction, and mixing tools that easily match paid competitors like Adobe Audition, which runs another monthly Creative Cloud fee. Entire podcasts with 6- and 7-figure audiences have been recorded and edited start to finish in Audacity. It doesn't have every polish feature a AAA recording studio might want, but for cleaning up background noise, trimming a podcast, or mixing a home music track, it does everything a beginner needs and most professionals actually use, without a single dollar changing hands. Number 5, Blender versus paid 3D software. Professional 3D animation software like Autodesk Maya can cost upwards of $1,700 a year for a single license, putting it firmly out of reach for most solo creators. Blender is completely free, and it isn't a beginner's toy. It's a full 3D creation suite, modeling, animation, rendering, sculpting, video editing, all in one download. Netflix has directly funded Blender's development through the Blender Studio project, and major companies including Ubisoft and Industrial Light and Magic have contributed code back into it. An indie animator with zero budget now has access to essentially the same category of tool used inside actual Hollywood visual effects pipelines, while studios locked into $1,000 licenses keep paying annually for software doing a comparable job. Number 4. OBS Studio versus paid screen recorders. Screen recording software like Camtasia can run several $100s for a single license. OBS Studio, free and open source, has become the actual industry standard, not the budget alternative, the standard. Nearly every major Twitch and YouTube streamer you've ever watched is running OBS in the background, handling multiple camera sources, screen capture, overlays, and live streaming simultaneously, with zero watermark and zero recurring cost. It requires a slightly steeper learning curve than a simple one-click paid recorder, but once it's set up, it outperforms software that costs hundreds of dollars, which is exactly why the people making a living from streaming and recording professionally chose the free option. Number 3. Signal versus WhatsApp. This one isn't really about money. Both apps are free to download. It's about what you're actually paying with. WhatsApp is owned by Meta, and while your individual messages are encrypted, Meta still collects metadata, who you're messaging when, how often, and ties it to your phone number inside its broader advertising ecosystem. Signal is run by a nonprofit foundation, and in a fairly ironic twist, it's largely funded by Brian Acton, the actual co-founder of WhatsApp, who left Meta and poured tens of millions of dollars into building the more private alternative. Signal collects almost no metadata at all, no ad network, no parent company monetizing your contact list. The encryption technology WhatsApp uses was actually built on the Signal protocol in the first place. You're not choosing between two different levels of security. You're choosing whether the same underlying technology gets wrapped in an advertising business or not. Number 2. Firefox versus paid privacy browsers. People pay for separate VPN subscriptions and premium ad blocker extensions trying to bolt privacy features onto Chrome, which makes sense, since Chrome's parent company, Google, makes the vast majority of its revenue from tracking and advertising. Firefox, built by the nonprofit Mozilla Foundation, ships with enhanced tracking protection, container tabs that isolate your logins from advertisers, and built-in translation, all free, all on by default, no extension marketplace required. It's not funded by harvesting your browsing habits for an ad network. It survives on search partnerships and donations. You can spend money stacking privacy tools on top of a browser whose entire business model depends on watching you, or download one for free that was never built to watch you in the first place. Number 1. Wikipedia versus paid encyclopedias. A full print set of Encyclopedia Britannica, used to cost American families over $1,400, financed in some cases over years of payments, before the company finally discontinued its print edition in 2012 because nobody could compete with something updating in real time for free. Wikipedia, run entirely by the nonprofit Wikimedia Foundation, funded by donations, has never once run a single paid advertisement. In 2005, the science journal Nature published a study directly comparing Wikipedia's science entries against Encyclopedia Britannica's, and found the accuracy gap between them was far smaller than most people assumed. Britannica averaged about 3 errors per article, Wikipedia about 4, close enough that headlines at the time called it a virtual tie. English Wikipedia alone now holds more than 6 million articles, continuously fact-checked and edited by volunteers around the world, entirely free, while the encyclopedia families once paid over $1,000 for sits in landfills and secondhand shops, permanently frozen in whatever year it was printed. That's it for this video. More on the way. Subscribe to catch them.